and we didn't want to wait any longer. So Erica and Sam and Bill and Raphael and Kimberly and Steve and Debbie, I know you guys are all here, but can you guys please give them a round of applause? And then, last but not least, on a personal note, I want to thank my parents and my husband who are here today. I appreciate your constant love and support. Hold on, here we go. Okay, so now I would like to invite Lou Galderi, Baycare's Co-Chief Operating Officer, up here to say a few welcoming words.
Thank you, Tracy. Good afternoon. I am so excited to welcome all of you to our grand opening of our Baycare Behavioral Health Urgent Care Center, the first behavioral health urgent care center in the state, by the way. So really proud of this team. And this program really recognizes and acknowledges what we come to understand, and that's that people with mental health and substance addiction issues struggle with how and where to seek care. Oftentimes there are delays in getting in to seek care, sometimes waiting for weeks or months to actually see a provider. This program welcomes them now when they have the courage to seek help and seek care. At Baycare, our goal is for our patients to have the right care, the right time, at the right place. This urgent care center just further substantiates that mission for patients to seek care. And as we know, a healthy mind resides in a healthy body. The two are co-related, and we couldn't have one without the other. As the largest provider of behavioral health services in West Central Florida, we are deeply committed to providing high quality, compassionate behavioral health care to our community. And Tracy spent a few minutes, but I'd like to also publicly recognize our incredible team of leaders and entire behavioral health team for their ability and unwavering commitment, their innovation, and their patient-first focus in providing a much-needed segment of care to our community. So if we can give them a round of applause. I said I would be brief. The back of my head is starting to sweat, so that's it for me. I'm going to turn it back over to Tracy to continue the program. Thank you.
We told everyone to speak briefly. It's air conditioned inside, so as soon as we get through this part, it'll feel a little cooler. I just want to spend a minute to talk about some of the history. So several years ago, we gathered a group of local community stakeholders and leaders, many of whom are here today, to discuss how to improve our system of behavioral health care for individuals in Pasco County. We spent 2 full days with the Florida Mental Health Institute going through an exercise called sequential intercept mapping. And a lot of you are nodding your heads because you were here. What that mapping does is it helps identify needs and gaps in your area and how to best address them. This is where the idea to design a behavioral health urgent care in Pasco County began to form. It kind of felt like a pie in the sky idea, kind of like a pipe dream, but it was a fun one, and it felt different and it felt exciting, so we kept meeting regularly to do planning, to have conversations about it, and just kind of keep it going. And then all of a sudden, there was an opportunity to apply for some funding with the Pasco County Commissioners. The Commissioners created an opioid task force. I will not steal your thunder, I promise. It's high level. But they created an opioid task force, the first in the Tampa Bay area, probably still the only one, to be honest, and really focused on finding ways to spend that money in a way that was meaningful for our community. Baycare Behavioral Health was awarded the funding to renovate this building behind us and create Florida's first behavioral health urgent care center. And so as we continue to face challenges with mental health and addiction, we definitely recognize the critical importance of timely and appropriate care. This is the foundation of our urgent care center. When someone is struggling with mental health and or addiction issues and they're ready to seek help, we want to strike while the iron's hot, so to speak, and we want to intervene immediately, get them the services that they need. Our center is the first of its kind in the state, and it's designed to provide a safe, convenient, and walk-in access for appropriate care, ensuring that supports and services are available precisely when needed. Just like a traditional urgent care for physical ailments, like a sinus infection or a sprained wrist, you want to be able to have immediate care and relief in those moments, and that is what we're trying to provide here in this center. So next, I would like to invite Commissioner Catherine Starkey. She is the chair of the commission currently, and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, and it's really an honor to be here today, and I'm going to repeat some of the things that you said, but I can remember when it's Tom. I never remember Tommy's last name, so I know you Bay Care people can remind me. What was Tommy's last name? Yes. When he convened a bunch of us, I think down in Oldsmar, I think, to have our first meeting about how to deal holistically with this problem. I think, were you there? Were you at that meeting?
So.
I think you were there.
The one I was at was at Carrollton, Caroline.
Oh, Caroline. Okay. And I know the sheriff was there, and I'm sorry he couldn't be here today. But, prior to that, especially I'm the commissioner in District 3, I've got Holiday, where if every time they'd show a heat map of issues, my gosh, Holiday is just on fire in that 19 corridor. So this I feel was a really big responsibility for my district, and so I was really excited to be invited to that meeting. And I know that we started brainstorming on maybe the second meeting on what could we do that was impactful right away. And I remember that the sheriff and I and our table came up with we discussed an idea like this where you could have kind of a walk-in immediate triage for this kind of service. So many times they're either going to the emergency room or they're going to our jail. And that is not the right place for someone suffering with this kind of problem to go to. So we were very excited to be the first to have something like this. The county has given over $4 million to this project, and they renovated this building in less than a year. So, I mean, to do that in Pasco County, that's like a miracle. A couple weeks ago, or months ago, Pasco County met with the Hillsborough County and the Pinellas County Commission. And we're doing this maybe quarterly or a couple times a year. And it's wonderful for all of us to be getting together. And I had asked for the upcoming discussion, which was our last meeting, to be about what are the counties doing with their opioid money. And it was kind of shocking, and I guess we were patting ourselves on the back because, I'm sorry, but Hillsborough County and Pinellas County talked about ideas that they had, and my staff was able to get up there and talk about what we had done and how we were about to cut the ribbon on the first of its kind program. And so congratulations to Baycare, to all the Baycare boards, to Pasco County, and all those others who were involved in this wonderful, wonderful project. You know, I have a family member who suffers from addiction. I have lots of friends who have been touched by this horrible, horrible illness, and I am just so grateful and happy that we're going to have a program here that's going to save a lot of lives. So thank you so much for letting me speak to you.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's definitely been a ride. Next, I'd like to invite our Vice Chair Mariano up to say a few words.
Well, as we know, Holidays gets a lot of attention, but Hudson get a lot too through the years. And the issues that we deal, they're countywide, but they're intense. And I'm very proud of the Board of County Commissioners to say, this is where we need to go, here's what we need to protect, to partner with Baycare on such a phenomenal facility, taking care of our people that need it. It's a better use of your tax dollars, a better use of people's quality of life every step of the way. So I'm just happy to see this coming. I know it was a great building to start with the bones. I can't wait to see the inside. So thank you. And thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Commissioner Yeager?
Well, good afternoon. Well, first of all, it is a great day for Pasco County. We are very blessed to have Baycare as part of our community. And I'd love to share a little story with you guys. I was at work, it was last summer, and I got a text from my girlfriend, and she worked at Baycare. Not at Baycare, sorry, Tampa General. And I knew from the text that something wasn't right. So I stepped out of my meeting and I said, you know what, I need to go. So I just knew that I had to drive to Tampa General. So I called her and I said, hey, I'm actually in your area, which I wasn't. I said, can you meet for lunch? What time's your lunch break? And she said, oh, I can meet whenever. And I was like, great, I'll text you when I'm there. So I'm actually sitting in the parking lot at this point. So I give it a few minutes and I say, hey, I'm here. So we meet in the cafeteria and she shares with me what's going on. And she said she wanted to jump off the parking garage. And I said, how can I help? And she said, I don't want to be hospitalized and I don't want it to go on my record. I work at a hospital. I have a high paying job and it just, that stigmatism, it wouldn't look good. So I said, okay. I said, well, you know what? I'm going to stay with you. I called my husband. I said, listen, I've got to stay with her, you know. So I said, I can either stay with you or you can come home with me, either way. So she said, you know what? I'll come home with you. I said, okay. So the first phone call I made was to Baycare. And they were amazing. They said, we can meet you at a coffee shop. We can meet you at your house. We can meet you wherever you are. And that is exactly what she needed. And she agreed for them to come to the house, and the kids and I, we left. And she got the help she needed. And the very next day, they got her in for a follow-up appointment and on meds. So this is just going to be a huge and much needed blessing to our community. So I just wanted to say thank you to you guys for everything you do. And if there's any way the county commission can help, we would love to help you. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Yeager. Appreciate your kind words. Our next speaker, no offense to anybody else, is probably our most important speaker. So I would like to invite Morgan Barnett to come up here. Morgan's one of our behavioral health team members. She serves as a recovery support specialist here in this building at our behavioral health urgent care. She is the epitome of recovery is possible. In her role, she shares lived experience. She helps individuals who've had similar struggles with addiction and mental health issues. I often describe our recovery support specialists as our secret sauce. They provide support and hope for those that are struggling in a way that is relevant and relatable because of their own personal experiences. Morgan?
Good afternoon. My name is Morgan. I'm a recovery support specialist here at Baycare Behavioral Health Urgent Care. I'm incredibly honored to work here and see firsthand how this center will save lives. I'm a recovering addict with just over 3 years of recovery experience under my belt. However, that's not where my story started. I grew up in what I consider to be a very decent upbringing. I grew up with a single mother who was a full-time employee and student, so she was out of the home most of the time. Because of that, I was involved in activities to keep busy. I was a competitive cheerleader and dancer, and I played softball. I began using drugs, alcohol, men and women to cope with the love that I felt I was missing at home. I used these things to fit into crowds I had no business being in. At first, I could do these things and put them down when I wanted to. As the years went by, that got harder and harder to do. I became addicted not only to drugs and alcohol, but also to a very toxic relationship. I didn't seek help because I didn't feel I had a problem. And as weird as this sounds, I felt safe in the familiarity of that abusive relationship. I finally left that relationship due to causes beyond my control, and that's when things took a turn for the worse. My kids were removed from my care by the Department of Children and Families, and I began working with the Baycare Family Intensive Therapy Program, the FIT team. But I couldn't seem to stop using drugs and alcohol. But I'm not an addict. I felt I wasn't as bad as others, or because I hadn't done the things that other addicts had done, that couldn't be me. I was in complete denial. The FIT team could see through my manipulation tactics and recommended a higher level of care. As they sat me down to inform me of this decision, I came up with every excuse in the book not to be sent to rehab. Thankfully, the supervisor of the FIT team came up with the solutions for every cop-out I had. At that point, I threw up my hands and I gave in. It was just another box to check off on the path to regain custody. They recommended I go to a long-term inpatient treatment center, and that's where I went. On January 19th of 2022, I walked into Baycare's Community Recovery Center, CRC, again to check the following box off my DCF case plan. While in CRC, I peeled some layers off this onion and got down to the root of some of my traumas. I began trauma therapy and family therapy to work on some of the trauma caused by that abusive relationship. I finally started to love myself for the person I was and forgive myself for the wreckage of my past. I work closely with my therapist and treatment team to determine my course of treatment and work on things I felt would continue my recovery in the best way, like healing my inner child, healthy relationships, building better boundaries, and self-acceptance. Every week, outside 12-step meetings came into the facility, which is where I found my tribe. A few months into CRC, a light bulb went off, and I was finally able to admit to myself that I, in fact, am an addict, and that if nothing changes, then nothing changes, and that change needed to start with me. For me, I placed my own stigma on the disease of addiction, which caused me to suffer for longer than I needed to. I couldn't reach out for the support I needed because I was unable and unwilling to admit that I was an addict and that I caused a lot of my own problems. I completed CRC and was discharged on September 13th of 2022 and re-engaged with the FIT team. With a lot of hard work and determination, I regained custody of my kids in March of 2023, and my DCF case plan was closed September of that same year. I continued to attend 12-step meetings regularly and built a support network that changed the trajectory of my life. Today, I am a proud and productive member of society. I'm a loving and present mother and partner to my family. I can set, respect, and revisit boundaries that were once foreign to me. Before I found recovery, I felt I couldn't do any of these things, but today I am hopeful for my own, my family's, and for my tribe's future. I feel that if someone who is as hopeless as me can change their life from nothing to beyond my wildest dreams and find hope in the darkness, then anyone who sets their mind to it can. I am grateful to be working here at our Behavioral Health Urgent Care Center to share my story and provide hope and guidance for those in our community who are struggling just as I once was. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. So that's the reason why our work is so successful, right? Sharing your personal story is very hard, but so crucial. It is what reduces stigma. It's what normalizes the ups and downs of being human, right? It's not talking about your mental health that adds to the stigma that surrounds it. So for our closing, I would like to invite Gail Ryder, BayCare's VP of Behavioral Health Services, to offer some closing remarks before we walk to the front of the building. After she speaks, we're going to walk to the front of the building. Oh boy. And then do some tours of our center. So.
Okay. Wow, what a big day. I only have a few remarks. I really want you to see this amazing program. Today, I have two things I want to say. One, what you are hearing is the partnership that we have going in our community. We have our county, we have our law enforcement, we have our hospitals all working together. The secret sauce for this patient population is that public-private partnership. That is what it takes. Nobody can do this by themselves, and no one should. So I thank everyone in today for everything that they've ever done. So that's message number one. Message number two, it's programs like this that are going to help people with this problem, like any other health problem, live happy and healthy in the community. It is not about beds. It is about programs like this. People need to live with this illness, and they do. That's our goal. You're going to see more of this and less of the beds. The beds are there when we need them, but they're not the answer. This is the answer. So that's the second thing I want to say. Personally, I want to thank Dewey Mitchell. I know you don't know how important you are to me, but I'm going to make it known now that when I started 15 years ago, Dewey was a big supporter of behavioral health services, and he encouraged us to build and to go and to do. So I thank you for that. I thank you for that encouragement. You've been very important to me. And then my last thing, as a leader of this tribe of mine, there are 4 people I want to formally thank. Let me start with Debbie Anioko. Where are you, Debbie? Debbie is a very important member of our tribe. and she has been critical in the development of this program, and I thank you for that work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Susan Wright, please. So when you see what Susan has done to build this thing, Susan's been the architect, so thank you. Where's Erica Smith? Erica Fritz. I knew her as Erica Fritz. Erica, I hand this to you as you run this program. And last but not least, for Tracy to keep the vision alive and to vision this thing from beginning to end. So thank you.